Welcome back to the video lecture series on the subject titled Fundamentals of Structural Mechanics. Myself, M.K. Karthik, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Aeronautical Engineering from Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about Macaulay's method, which is a method used to find the deflection of beams. So as we have already discussed, there are 4 methods to find out the deflection of beam in this subject. In that, we are going to specifically discuss about Macaulay's method in this video. So basically, Macaulay's method is a means which is used to find the deflected shape of the beam or the elastic curve. As we have discussed earlier, elastic curve will give the deflected shape of any beam. From this equation, we can find out the deflection at any point in the beam. That is, the deflection of interest can be found by substituting the location in which the deflection is required. Also, the specialty of this Macaulay's method is it helps us to write a single equation for the bending moment for the entire length of the beam. Unless double integration method, where you have to identify a location where the entire load should create a moment, that moment should be considered. So the selection of location in your double integration method is a big problem, which gets eliminated in this Macaulay's method. And the Macaulay's method is specifically used to calculate deflection in simply supported beams. Okay. Right. So we are going to couple the Euler-Bernoulli theory from the equation EI is equal to EI into d square y by dx square should be equal to the bending moment. So that Euler-Bernoulli equation is combined with the Macaulay's method to find an expression which helps us to calculate the deflection at various locations in the beam. So here, the specialty again of this Macaulay's method is you have a turn-off function. So this turn-off function helps us to simplify the process, where the lengthy calculation part will be eliminated mostly compared with the double integration method. So this turn-off function helps us to make a particular value or a particular set of the bending moment equation to be 0. So we'll see that later. So this turn-off function is again the specialty of your Macaulay's method. So here the bending moment function will be considered at the end of the section only. Unless your double integration method, we have to identify a specific location. Here in Macaulay's method, by default, we will be taking the moment function only at the end of the section. So in this figure, we can actually see a simply supported beam which is subjected to a point load at a distance of A, and let you consider a section at a distance of small x from the support, and the bending moment at that section can be written as force, that is P into your distance x minus A. So like this, we are going to frame an expression for the given loading condition using the Macaulay's method. Suppose if you are having a uniformly distributed load, so then the bending moment equation at the section x will be W. Small w is nothing but the rate of loading, and you multiply by the distance and your CG distance. So finally, you will be getting W x minus A whole square divided by 2 will be the bending moment for the beam which is carrying an uniformly distributed load. So now we will try to elaborate this Macaulay's method by considering a simply supported beam AB of length L, and it is carrying a concentrated load or a point load at the midspan. Assume the flexural rigidity, that is the product of E into I, to remain constant. Now we are going to find out the equation of the elastic curve by using the turn-off function in the Macaulay's method. So before that, we are going to write the beam moment, which describes the moment for the beam only from the left side. So we always start our Macaulay's method by taking reference as your left side. Okay. So in this particular beam, there are two spans. So we have to find out the moment function only on the rightmost end with x as the distance. So this we have discussed earlier. So here you can see a simply supported beam is having two spans. That is AC is one span and CB is another span. So we have to start writing the equation from the leftmost end, and the bending moment should be considered only for the rightmost section, right? Okay. So as we said, the beam is having two spans, and the rightmost span is nothing but your CB span. So I'm going to take a section XX at span CB, and I'm going to find out what is the bending moment for the section. So considering the span L by 2 to L, so where X lies between L by 2 to L, that is your CB span. The bending moment can be written as your reaction force will be P by 2 on the support. So here you have P by 2 into X minus P into P is the actual applied load at point C. So P into X minus L by 2. So as we said earlier, the turn-off function in your Macaulay's equation is represented by a separate set of brackets. So here we will not be using a regular bracket. So we will be using a different bracket. You should understand that it is a special function. So it can be turned off when required. So we'll see what is the turn off. Right. So the bracket above allows the function to turn off whenever the inside value is a negative or 0. So this is the meaning of turn off. Turn off means the value or the entire term can be neglected once the value inside the bracket will be either a negative value, or if it is a 0 value, I am not going to use that particular, or a particular bracket will be left out. Suppose you see here, when x is less than or equal to L by 2, then what happened? Suppose if you substitute instead of x, I am going to substitute L by 2. So automatically the second term will become 0. That is the bracket x minus L by 2 term is turning off as 0. So that is what here. Suppose if L is greater than L by 2, then we will be having actually a positive value. Then the term should be included. Right? Suppose if x is less than L by 2 or equal to L by 2, that function will be, suppose you put x is equal to 0. So now what happens? 0 minus L by 2 will become minus L by 2. So it is a negative term. So normally what we will do in other equations, that minus L by 2 will be multiplied by this minus p, and we will simply write as plus p L by 2. Whereas in this Macaulay's method, if we are going to have a negative value for this bracket, so that particular term should be replaced as 0. So the moment will become m is equal to p by 2 into x. So that is the significance of this turn-off function. Right? So you have to remember, whenever I am having a turn-off function, if I am getting a 0 value or a negative value, we will simply drop that term. So that is the thing you should understand by this turn-off function. We will try to solve a problem, so you will get a better understanding. So regarding Macaulay's term, before going into this problem solving, 3 things you have to remember. Point number 1, the problem should always start from the left end. Point number 2, the bending moment should be considered only at the rightmost end span. That is point number 2. Third point, turn-off function will be used only if the particular value is a positive value. If you are getting a negative value or a 0 value, that particular turn-off function will be dropped from the Macaulay's equation. Right? With these 3 points, we will try to apply and check how we are going to get the elastic curve equation, or whether how to find the deflection value at different points of a beam using some problems. So here I am going to take a simply supported beam which is having 6 meter length, and it carries actually 2-point loads. 2-point loads of value 48 kilonewton and 40 kilonewton, which is located at a distance of 1 meter and 3 meter respectively from the leftmost support A. And you are supposed to calculate the deflection under the loads, which means there are 2 loads. You have to find out deflection under both the loads. Then I should calculate the maximum deflection. Also, I should find out the location at which the maximum deflection happens. So these 3 things are required to be found for the above mentioned simply supported beam, and you can assume the Young's modulus of the material as 200 GPa and the moment of inertia for the cross section as 85 in 10 power 6 millimeter power 4. Okay, to start with, the first step is to find out the reaction forces of the beams. So we will be using our static equilibrium equations, summation of forces in vertical direction, summation of forces in horizontal direction, as well as the summation of moments about a point, all should be equated to 0. So the equation, second equation, summation of vertical forces, if we equate to 0, we are going to get RA plus RB. Both reactions will be in upward direction, and it is equated to the downward acting loads, that is 48 kilonewton as well as 40. So the equation will be RA plus RB will be equal to 88 kilonewton. And the second equilibrium equation, we are going to consider the point A, and we are going to take the moment about point A and equate to 0. So we'll be getting RB into 6, which is an anti-clockwise acting moment, and that should be equated to 48 into 1 plus 40 into 3. Both are clockwise moments arising due to the applied load. So if you simplify again, you get 6 times RB will be equal to 48 plus 120 as 168 kilonewton. And upon simplification, we get the reaction force at point B as 28 kilonewton. So once we found out the RB, you substitute in your equation 1. This RA plus RB should be equal to 88, and RA will be equal to 60 kilonewton. So we can summarize like the reaction force at point A is 60 kilonewton, and the reaction force at point B as 28 kilonewton. So using this value, we will try to find out an expression for the mechanism here. So as we discussed earlier, the first point, we will be considering the leftmost support as the reference point, and we are going to consider the rightmost end, that is the span which is lying between the 40 kilonewton load and the point B. So that is our reference point, the rightmost end, and we are going to find out the bending moment equation at that particular span. So we can write it as MA is equal to RA into X minus 48 into X minus 1 minus 40 into X minus 3. So we are going to get 3 terms in your bending moment equation, and you can see the reaction force at point A will actually generate a clockwise moment, so I am indicating it positive, whereas the moments generated due to your applied load will be in anti-clockwise direction, hence it is given in negative sign. So this is another thing, and you can see the Maclaise equation or the bending moment can be split into 3 parts. Corresponding to each of the 3 spans, we are going to have 3 parts, which is separated by these 3 dots kept vertical. Right? So it indicates that RA into X corresponds to the first span, that is A to 48, and the second one corresponds to the section which is lying between 48 kilonewton and 40 kilonewton, and the third one that is lying between 40 kilonewton and the point B. So the bending moment will have three particular terms which are separated from each other using these three vertical dots. And we are going to equate this bending moment to the equation, Bernoulli equation, that is EI into d square y by dx square should be equal to the moment acting, that is nothing but 60 into x. So we have found out the RA as 60. I'm going to substitute that RA as 60 into x minus 48 into x minus 1 minus 40 into x minus 3. So this will be the bending moment equation. And again, you have to remember that x minus 1 and x minus 3 are written in a special bracket which is called as the Chernoff function. Next, we are going to follow the concepts from the double integration method, where we will be integrating the bending moment equation 2 times, and we will be getting slope equation as well as the deflection equation subsequently. And here you have to notice that during the integration process, we will be coming across the constants of integration. So here also we are going to get two constants, C1 and C2. So the main difference between your double integration and Macaulay's method is the constants of integration C1 and C2 are written in the first term itself. So here in the slope equation, you are going to get the constant C1. It is not written at the end. Instead, it is written in the first term itself. So you can note it is written as 60x square by 2 plus C1. Also, the second integration constant C2 is written in your deflection equation in the first term only. It is not written at the end part. So this particular constant of integration should be taken care. You should not write the constants at the last, then the entire process will become a wrong one. Fourth point you have to remember. Earlier we have discussed about 3 points to remember. So you have to note down this fourth point, which you should keep in mind is the constants of integration should be written only on the first term of your Macaulay's equation. Okay, right. So from the bending moment equation, we have EI d square y by dx square is equal to 60x minus 48 into x minus 1 minus 40 into x minus 3. So first I'm going to integrate it. You are going to get EI into dy by dx will be equal to 60x square by 2 plus C1. Again, it is separated. And the second term you see minus 48 into x minus 1 whole square by 2. Third term will become minus 40 into x minus 3 whole square divided by 2. Fifth point you have to remember in this Macaulay's method is the Chernoff function should be integrated as a function only. Right? So normally, if you try to integrate your x minus 1, what we will do during normal integration process, we will write it as x square by 2 minus x plus a constant. So that is what our normal integration will look like. But since it is a Chernoff function and it is written in a special bracket, I am going to consider the whole term as a function of x. So whatever is there inside the bracket is like x. You should not integrate x separately, one separately. You have to consider that x minus 1 itself is a term. So if you normally integrate x, what you will get? You will get x square by 2. Like that x minus 1, if you integrate, you are going to get x minus 1, the whole square divided by 2. So this is how the integration should be done for the Chernoff function. So this is the point you should keep in mind, right? Fifth point. And you simplify it, you will get EI into dy by dx is equal to 30x square plus C1 minus 24 into x minus 1 whole square minus 20 into x minus 3 whole square. So this is actually your slope equation. So again, if you integrate the slope equation, we are going to get the deflection equation, which is nothing but EI into y should be equal to 30x cubed by 3 plus C1 into x plus C2. This is the first term. And the second term will become minus 24 x minus 1 whole cube divided by 3. And the last term or the third term will be minus 20 x minus 3 whole cube divided by 3. So again, you can simplify. The final slope equation will become EI into y is equal to 10x cube plus C1x plus C2 minus 8 into x minus 1 whole cube minus 20 into x minus 3 whole cube divided by 3. So we have found the Michaelis method equation, and the problem now is we have ended up with two integration constants, and we have to remove those two constants. So usual procedure to remove the integration constant is to apply the boundary condition of the problem, and we have to evaluate the values of C1 and C2. So here in this simply supported beam, we normally use the boundary condition at the location at the both the supports, your deflection will be 0. So you can use that basic boundary condition. In other words, at x equal to 0, my deflection is 0, that is one support, and x equal to L, y is equal to 0, that is the second support. So we'll try to apply one by one and calculate the values of